Hey there everybody, Mystery Wheel Gunner back here with you again. Thanks for tuning in. Gonna do some cylinder cleaning and maintenance on my 2020 Python. Cleaning the cylinder out is not something you're gonna do regularly, but it's something you should do at least semi-regularly. All right, let's get to it. First off, you're gonna take out this little retention screw right here. Oh, wait. Yes, we're empty. Now be careful with this little retention screw here. It's not just a one piece. All right, as you can see right there, it already came apart. All right, it's actually three pieces. So let me go ahead and take this out carefully. These pieces are kind of small. You obviously don't want to lose any of these. And there we go. So you've got the actual screw itself, and you can see, let me put these down before I lose them. Hopefully it can focus for me. You see how it's got a recess in there? That's for the other two parts. The other two parts that go in there is a spring, and then you've got the tip or the cap, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so yes. Now, the spring shouldn't give a whole lot of tension. So when you loosen this, the spring shouldn't just like pop out or anything, but it is something to be aware of. Remember, this is a three-piece. You've got the screw cap, the little spring, and the little tip. All right, so set that aside. Turn it over, and then you can just pull on the crane assembly here, and it should just come on out. And of course, I fumble while it's on camera. It should just, there we go. Maybe I had my feet in the wrong place. Now my mic wires are in the way. There we go. All right, the Python itself is pretty clean. I've cleaned it fairly recently, but I did not access the cylinder. So just give that a quick wipe down while I have access to that part of the gun. And we're going to set that aside. Okay, let's start wiping stuff down. Okay, we're going to disassemble the cylinder, which is going to be actually going to be fairly easy. You're going to need a number 2 hex wrench, number 2 metric. In a pinch, I guess you could use a 5/64th? Because if you convert from American to European, 5/64 is 1.9 something something millimeters. It could work in a pinch, but the proper size is the metric number 2. Oops, I'm a fumble fingers. And you're going to want to turn it counterclockwise. Once you break the initial grip on the threads, you can then just use your fingers. There's quite a few threads on here. Right, there we go. Now, it is under spring tension, but there is a detent system that keeps it in place. I've seen on some people's 2020 Pythons, once you break this out of there, once you take it out of there, this will come off. Obviously on mine, the detents are keeping it from, from springing out. That's fine, that's okay. Let's go ahead and give this a wipe down real quick. It's not real dirty, but hey, we're here, might as well wipe it down. Okay, so if it does not spring out for you, that's fine. You're just gonna have to overcome the detents. What I'm gonna do first though, you can pull on the extractor and take that out. So let's do that first. Again, it's fairly clean. I gave mine a nice little cleaning not too long ago. I may have put a few more rounds through it since that cleaning, but nothing of note. But again, while I'm here, while I've got the extractor free, might as well give it a little touch up. I'm using Ballistol. I'm not trying to sell you on it. That's just what I use. Unfortunately, Ballistol does have a tendency to make me cough every once in a while. So if I'm talking and then I suddenly go silent, it's because I edited out a coughing fit in post. All right, let me just give this a quick scrub down. It's not especially dirty, but there, good enough. I'm not one of those people that tries to get it, factory new. As long as the buildup is gone, I'm happy. And I don't have to take every little bit of fouling out of there. All right. Now, there's going to be a spring and a little washer in there, okay? And like I said, if you're lucky, this will just push out for you. If not, you just got to overcome the little detents in there. It's going to take a little bit of force, but don't worry, you're not breaking anything. It's going to feel like it, but you're not. So, okay, just a little post-production addendum to try and shed a little bit more light as to what is going on here. So these are the detents on the crane shaft. This is the shaft that the cylinder slides on. As you can see, with the rod out, with the ejector rod taken out, the detents are able to recede into the shaft. See that? See how that detent just moved? Okay. There's nothing supporting them on the inside, so they're free to move. As you can see, they're not protruding. Okay. And even when they do protrude, like if I can get gravity, there we go. See how gravity is pulling down on that one detent, but I can just very easily, come on, focus please. Hard to find good help, There we go. As you can see, I can just gently push that detent back in. The thing that makes these things protrude is that rod that we had to take out. See that? When I put the rod in, it makes the detents protrude and they become very stiff. You can't just push them back in, but watch. When I take the rod out, boop, the detents are able to recede back into the shaft. And so with the detents able to recede and with them moving freely, as you saw, you should be able to just slip this onto the cylinder. But there seems to be some sort of lip there. So even with the rod out and the detents able to move freely, there's still a little bit of force you need to snap it in. And same thing when disassembling. You have to overcome just a little bit of force. It's not a whole lot. But you know what I'm talking about, right? You have to pull it out. You have to overcome some other resistance in there, even when the rod is out and the detents are able to collapse. I've seen Pythons that will have the cylinder and crane just, separate easily once the rod is taken out. But obviously on mine, maybe on yours as well, you have to overcome a little bit of force. But the way I see it, as long as those detents are able to move freely, and as long as you remember to take the rod out, I think you'll be okay with having to overcome that little bit of force. I don't think you're going to be damaging anything. Here, let me position the camera. I'm going to need it closer to my body to get the leverage. Now, you don't want to just pull them apart violently because the parts are going to go all over the place. So you're going to be kind of measured when you pull this apart. There we go. All right. So here we go. Pull that out. You can see the little detents there. There's two of them. There's one there, and there's one on the other side. Those are staked in. And I don't see a need to remove them for cleaning. The little washer is going to be inside of here. Yep, it's not coming out this time. You don't need to take out the washer for maintenance, but I want to show it to you. There it is. So you know what to look for and you know what not to lose. There is the little washer. Don't lose that. It's a very small part. Easy to lose track of. I'm going to put that right there so I don't lose it. All right. Give that a wipe down. Get some ballast oil on there. So it's actually pretty clean. I was expecting quite a bit more gunk in here, and it's pretty clear. I mean, there's some fouling there, but that's not going to impede function. There's no buildup. So if I don't get every last stain out of here, it's not going to be the end of the world. All right, looks pretty good. And there's the spring. Put that aside for now. And that should be it. So you can see, it's pretty clean. I don't worry about the burn marks on the face of the cylinder. That's just cosmetic. My Python, I pride myself on the fact that I own a Python, one of the prettiest 357 Magnum revolvers out there. But it's not a safe queen. I don't need it to look factory new every single time. So that's not hurting me, but I want to scrub that out. And, oh, I got to pause here. I forgot to bring out one of my cleaning implements. So hang on, be right back. All right, I'm back. Here's my little cleaning rod from a Glock. Yes, I know, all sorts of blasphemy going on here. What, gonna use a Glock tool on a Python? Yeah, mass hysteria. Put a little bit of ballast oil on here. These are those swab it tips. I really like these. So, I mean, if you prefer to use something else, cool. I'm not here to sell you on anything. I'm just here to state what I'm using, because, inevitably you're going to ask, hey, what is that? And there we go. Yeah, it looks a little bit dirtier than when it went in. So there we go. Good enough. And I forgot to grab the patches. Hang on a second. Be right back. All right, and I'm back. Got myself a nice patch here. So the swab-its I like to use when it's wet with oil, with solvent. I use that to scrub it. But I don't like to put another one through there dry, for the final pass. I always have this, I don't know, I'm paranoid that if I run it through there dry, it'll shred a little bit and leave some particles. So I still finish off with a nice patch in there. Just run it through like that. And there we go. Look at that. Came out clean anyway. Alrighty, and we're pretty much done with cleaning here. So not a whole lot of gunk there. That's fine. Now, put the whole thing back together. Remember, you got the little washer here. Boy, that thing is tiny. So you got the little washer. right there. We're going to put that back in. There we go. So we know it's in there. That's nice and safe. The extractor, or the star extractor, has a flat side. So it is indexed. There's only one way it's going to go back in. Just find that flat spot. And there you go. You know what? While we're here, we'll go ahead and do the... I like to put a tiny drop of oil on a finger. And then just smear that little bit of oil on the extractor stem. You don't need a whole lot. And then back it'll go. And now I'm going to have problems finding that indexing point. Always happens, you know. There we go. That's all put together. The washer's in there. All we need now is the spring. I don't believe there's any specific way the spring goes in. Put that in there. Put this back together, and then you're just going to overcome the detents again. You're going to hear the little snap. Oop, come on now. Go back together. There we go. A little snap. Make sure the extractor is still where it should be. Not quite lining up. Hang on. Let's thread the rod in. That'll give me a little bit more leverage when adjusting that extractor. There we go. It kind of fixed itself. And then you just thread this back in. And then we're just going to snug it down. I've got it finger tight. And now I just give it a little, like, you know, maybe a quarter turn more. Nice and snug. You don't need to get it farm tractor tight. Make sure it works. Test for function. Does the star fit flush with the cylinder? Yes, it does. We're good there. I like to put another drop of oil there. So once again, I use the finger trick. Just a little bit of oil. Even that little bit of oil is probably a little too much. So I'll just dab it there. Use a different finger to smear it around. And then work the extractor a little bit. Smear that oil around in there. All right. And it's ready to go back together. Oh, you know what? While we're here, I'm going to put a tiny bit of ballast oil on there. Then smear that around. Maybe you don't need to, but makes me feel good. I don't even know if that makes any sense. Wipe off some of the excess. There we go. And then it slips right in there. Oop. Close it up. And then making sure all three parts are there. Okay. See how the tip is under spring tension, so I know the spring is in there. Snug that down. And my mic camera is once again, or my mic wire is once again in the way. Anyway, there we go. She is back in action, baby. Nice and clean. Cylinder rotates freely. Look at that. Like it's on ball bearings, man. Whee! All right. So there you go. How to perform maintenance on your Colt Python's cylinder. Thanks for watching. Catch you all next time.